Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. Elon Musk just shared some huge news, and all the pieces are coming together now. And it really looks like 2025 is going to be the most exciting year ever in human history, if you ask me. Tesla is getting ready for the most important product launch ever. Not just in their lifetime, but just the most important product launch ever, period. So let's just check it all out and let's dive right in. So Elon Musk just did an interview, and boy did he share some important numbers and insights into what is coming and how fast it is coming. Because Elon said that unless someone has something that he doesn't know about, Tesla's Optimus robot is the most sophisticated robot in the world. And he also pointed out that the new hands looks and feels like human hands. So that is very, very cool. I hope we will very soon get some more demonstrations of what it can do. I hope they will do some cool demos like threading a needle or playing the piano. And Elon said in the interview that Tesla is still aiming for 1,000 robots working in their factories this year, testing the robots out. And then in 2026, they are aiming for as high as 50 to 100,000 robots produced, and then 10x that the year after. So possibly 500,000 robots in a few years. So they are not kidding around, and these robots are coming much faster than most people think. Remember how people laughed at the idea completely when Elon said that Tesla would now start making humanoid robots and had a man dancing in a suit on a stage. That was at the first AI Day in August 2021, just 3 years ago. Then the talk started about having useful human robot, and that would be decades out in the future. And as always, every analyst was out saying Elon should just stick to making his cars. He doesn't know anything about making robots. But that is basically the story of Elon Musk's life, right? People trying to tell him what he can't do and then doing it. He was just the internet guy in the beginning, right? He should just stick to the internet because he didn't know anything about how to make cars. And he should just let Boeing make rockets for NASA because he didn't know anything about rockets. Now Boeing is closing down their space program and SpaceX is the all-dominating force in the space industry. Then he should not make batteries and just stick to making cars. So at least they realized that he could actually make cars. And today, Tesla is producing their own homegrown batteries that is being used in their Cybertruck and will also be used in the Optimus robot and the Cybercab. Then he bought Twitter, and everyone was saying Elon should just stick to making cars and rockets, as he knew nothing about running a social media platform. Then he fired 80% of the staff to save it from bankruptcy, and have made it into a much better platform and increased the usage and created community nodes. And the other tech giants follow suit, cutting their staff, as Elon has showed that IT companies had become bloated. And now Mark Zuckerberg has just been out saying that they will copy community nodes, even calling it community node and calling out X platform in the announcement.
First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US.
So Elon ended up showing the other guys how this is done. And their censorship doesn't work, and Facebook is probably seeing people leaving the platform for X, so now they're changing their ways not to be left behind by Elon Musk's social media platform. What do you know? So trying to say what Tesla and Elon Musk can't do, you should probably think twice before blabbering something like that out in the open. His track record should shut people up. But unfortunately, the loudest people are usually the least informed, right? But here we are, and Tesla is about to produce 1,000 humanoid robots for testing in their own factories this year. Just 3 years after they said they would try to make humanoid robots. Just insane pace of progress and innovation here from Tesla. And knowing Tesla and Elon Musk's history and how good they have become at scaling up and securing a good supply chain, I think Tesla is ready to do this push as Elon is talking about. He would not say that they are aiming for 50 to 100,000 units next year without having made sure they have the supply chain ready to go live. As we know, he did sit down to talk with the CEO of TSMC, the biggest chip manufacturer in the world, and got confirmation from them that they will be able to deliver as many chips as Elon and Tesla wants for their robots and cybercabs that will be using the same chips. So, as Elon said, the toughest part by far is improving the design of Optimus for ease of manufacturing and tooling up a complex supply chain so it can be made in significant numbers. So this is something Tesla has been working on relentlessly to get up and running. Not just building a humanoid robot that can do useful stuff, but designing the robot from the ground up so that it would be easy and affordable to produce, and have been working on the complex supply chain. So if Elon says they are ready to do mass production in 2026, you can bet they are ready to go for it, because this is the deal that all suppliers want in on, because they know that these robots are going to be built in the millions, maybe hundreds of millions every year. And because Tesla is going to use many of the same parts for their cybercab, the scale of these parts is going to be huge. So every supplier is going to be fighting to get in on this freight train that is about to take off. So there is no doubt in my mind that Tesla has the suppliers lined up already, and they are ready to go to work. I know we have many people, probably most people, and maybe even some of you guys watching right now, that thinks that humanoid robots are a decade out in the future. But I personally think people are focusing on robots that is run by AGI software. But we don't have to get to AGI to have a useful humanoid robot. It doesn't have to understand everything in the world and be more intelligent than us to be working in a factory. It only needs to know what that job is in that single factory that it will probably never leave. I have worked in a factory once where I put caps on soap bottles. This was a job that didn't require any intelligence whatsoever. You should just repeat the same thing over and over again. So thinking that a robot have to be very, very intelligent to start being useful is like saying that the robots we already have in factories today, lifting the cars, painting the cars, welding the pieces together, need to be very intelligent to do their job. No, it just need to know enough to do that task at hand. And then AGI can come down the road, and then with an over-the-air update, your robot that could do just one task can now do two, and in the end it will be able to do everything you ask it to do, and do everything better than a human. But we don't need to get there to make a humanoid robot tremendously useful, because we do have humans doing jobs that a humanoid robot would easily be able to do, like loading tires from a cart onto the conveyor belt, but the humans are still paid something maybe like $50,000 a year, every year. But if you can buy a humanoid robot for, let's say, $20,000 once and have it do that human job for the next 15 years maybe, a human over 15 years would be about 37 times more expensive. The amount of saving this will do to manufacturing in general will make humanoid robots the most sought-after product in the manufacturing industry. And companies are going to go to Tesla to say, hey, can you teach a robot to do these 10 things? If so, I would like to order 100,000 of them, because it will save the companies millions or billions of dollars. And that is, of course, the beauty of the way Optimus is taught, as Tesla has told us that the Optimus robot can learn how to do stuff simply by being shown how to do it. And it doesn't have to be in real life, just like Tesla's full self-driving system that is taught through video data, so can the Optimus robot. So a company can send Tesla videos of what they want the robot to do, and they can train the robot on that data, and then of course have it to do it in real world as well. But it does not need to be AGI robot. It just needs a basic understanding of its environment and how to interact with it. AGI can come later. So that is why I think many people are underestimating just how fast the ramp of humanoid robots will be. Firstly, because Tesla has thought this through with the complex supply chain, easy and affordable to produce, have a human form factor so it can replace human workers, which will make it basically infinite useful. And secondly, because it will be such a game changer for any manufacturer that is using human labor, the demand will also be basically infinite. And 50 to 100,000 robots might sound like a lot at first glance, but when you realize just how much simpler and smaller a humanoid robot is compared to manufacturing a whole car, Tesla will be able to spit them out like crazy. Tesla is ramping up car productions faster than this. So 50 to 100,000 next year, if the design of the robot is 100% finalized, I really can't see why that should be an impossible task. Seems very doable when we know just how good Tesla is at manufacturing and ramping up production. So sure, Elon can be too optimistic at times, but even if it is a 6 month or 1 year delayed for some reason, that is still like within 1 or 2 years. Tesla will produce 100,000 humanoid robots. It is not decades out in the future. The future is now. And he also said that full self-driving is on track to be as safe as a human driver in 3 months. And as Elon Musk has said many times before, that Tesla can see like 6 months ahead of what you and I can see when it comes to their cars. So they already have cars that is driving now that is safer than a human within Tesla. They just have to test it out and make sure it's safe, do all the safety testing of the system, but they know they have solved it. They have cars that are driving safer than human drivers already today on their alpha program, not their public beta program that we see. This is so exciting because he is talking about 3 months it will be safer than a human. So let's say 3 to 6 months to be on the safe side. But as he also said, it will just keep on improving from there on out. So by the end of this year, thereabout, it is not unlikely that this system is going to be 10 times better than a human driver. So going back to this chart, where we have seen 1,000 times improvement over the span of just 1 year. People also seem to forget that as well, just how big and how fast the improvements has been over the last year. And it will only be faster over the next year, with even more data coming in from a bigger fleet of cars with their cortex chewing through this data, running the biggest single AI video training supercomputer in the world. So the question mark on this chart is hardly a question mark anymore. Version 14, as Tesla will likely call it, in Q2 of 2025. Well, Elon has just confirmed that once again. So if that is 3 months or 6 months out, it doesn't really matter, but that it is safer than a human driver, as we can also see showcased on this chart. The gray bar here on the right is the human driver. So in another 6 months from that, so by the end of 2025, it is hard to not think it will be 10 times safer than a human driver once again. So the timeline for Tesla to put cybercaps on the street in volume in 2026 seems more likely than ever before. I know we have been disappointed by full self-driving before, but looking at the facts and the capabilities of the system with version 13.2.2 and the progress and pace of improvement that is accelerating, I have a hard time understanding how you cannot be optimistic about full self-driving here in 2025. So, like I've said before, I truly think 2025 is going to be a very exciting year for Tesla. Even though 2026 is the year everything is coming in volume, but 2025 will be the year where we will see the technology emerge so that everyone can suddenly see it. That yes, this is coming in 2026 in volume. It is no longer just Elon being too optimistic. So some of the most innovative product that will probably ever be made by man, humanoid robots and autonomous transport, is coming this year. I think we're gonna have one of the most mind-blowing years here in 2025. Because that is all without talking about the breakthrough that will probably happen in AI as well here in 2025. We are truly living in the most exciting time in history, if you ask me. And 2025 is going to be the most exciting year yet. So hope you are ready for it. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.